What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back once again. JV Wins, Dogon SS. We are here for another edition of the Conscious Approach video series on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. Uh, we had a pretty good week on the channel. A lot of people like to, decide whether Sexy Red is emasculating black men or not, apparently. But it was a pretty hot video, pretty interesting stuff. So thanks to everybody who watched that video, in addition to all the other videos that we publish on this channel. And before we go ahead and get things kicked off, go ahead and do your boys a solid and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the tribe. In advance, we appreciate your support and we appreciate your viewership because those things are currency these days. So we try to crank out this good content each and every week, and we thank everybody for joining us along for the ride. Now, with that out of the way, we had to go ahead and start talking about this.
Oh yeah.
Lizzo is most definitely a friend of the channel. We have discussed Lizzo on this channel several times. For anybody who is unaware, Lizzo is currently being sued by ex-members of her tour, ex-employees rather, of her tour for sexual harassment and various other shenanigans. She is being alleged to have engaged in behaviors that cultivate a hostile workplace environment, among other things. But do not let me speak for it. I'll go ahead and let the media speak for it itself. So, first, we're going to go ahead and share this screen to just give a little background context for anybody who needs to be brought up to date on this situation. This is a screen share from Hot New Hip Hop. It says Lizzo sued for sexual harassment and hostile work environment by former dancers. Lizzo's fan base has come to love the 35-year-old for an abundance of reasons, namely her vocal talents, flute playing, and of course, body positivity. Can't forget that. As one of the few plus size people at the forefront of superstardom, she's received no shortage of hate throughout her career. Still, she's continued to move forward with confidence and positivity, putting her curves on display constantly. Seeing as she shows up as such a bright light online and while performing, the thought has been that Lizzo behaves the same way in real life. According to her former dancers, however, things aren't always sunshine and rainbows in the Truth Hurts hitmaker's presence. On Tuesday, which was August the 1st, NBC News revealed that three women who previously worked for Lizzo are now suing her for sexual harassment and a hostile work environment. Among the specific accusations Lizzo is facing are, quote, pressuring one dancer to touch a nude performer at an Amsterdam club and subjecting her team to what's been described as an excruciating audition after leveling false accusations of drinking while at work. In addition, the Michigan born artist also reportedly called one dancer out for their weight gain. She later berated and fired that same person for recording a meeting because of their health condition. Documents were filed in Los Angeles Superior Court today. They also call out the captain of Lizzo's dance team, Shirlene Quigley. Allegedly, they shamed others in the group for having premarital sex while also sharing their own not safe for work fantasies. They're said to have simulated oral sex publicly and openly discussed the virginity of one of the three plaintiffs. Quote, the stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly. While privately she weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not illegal but absolutely demoralizing, attorney Ron Zambrano shared in a statement. Prior to facing this harrowing lawsuit, Lizzo was fully focused on the recent Congress UFO hearing, in which whistleblowers confirmed the existence of non-human biologics on Earth. Because, besides her shocked reaction, we've also heard from Post Malone regarding the out of okay, whatever. That's just random
Hey,
stuff.
I'm about to say, why they segue into
Oh,
that?
I don't know why they add that random crap at the end. And for one more piece of context, we are going to also uh, kind of provide some background into Lizzo's response to this whole situation.
Okay.
So this says Lizzo responds to sexual harassment and weight shaming allegations. Lizzo is currently under fire after three of her former dancers sued her for a whole host of reasons. Overall, the allegations made against the artist are quite shocking. The dancers claim that Lizzo had pressured them to commit sexual acts while on tour. In particular, they were asked to take part in some sort of banana sex show in Amsterdam.
Ah, oh,
Additionally, some of the women were told that they were gaining weight and that if that continued, they would be kicked off the tour. Needless to say, fans are devastated by these allegations as they go against what the artist stood for. Since the allegations surfaced a couple days ago, fans have been waiting for her to respond. However, she has largely remained quiet on social media until now. On Thursday morning, Lizzo took to Twitter with her side of the story. As you can imagine, she is completely denying the allegations. Moreover, she says that she is heartbroken that people she gave an opportunity to would say these things. In fact, she claims that these dancers had behaved poorly on tour and had been warned that they could be fired. I'm devastated after hearing these fabricated claims made against me. These are sensationalized stories from people I gave opportunities to. The allegations are as unbelievable as they sound, Lizzo said. These former employees have already publicly admitted that they were told that their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. Usually I choose to respond. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are too outrageous not to be addressed. I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. The story certainly will not end here. The lawsuit continues, and we're sure the dancers will be responding to this statement soon. So there you go. Um, Lizzo, ironically, being sued by former employees for, amongst other things, weight shaming. You cannot make this shit up. Um, so I'm gonna just let you go. What do you think about this lawsuit being levied against Lizzo and her response to the allegations?
I mean, if this was like, I mean, this is straight out of comic book, bro. Like, if this was like some type of skit on like In Living Color or something like that back in the day, everybody would have, got a good laugh. The irony of this entire situation is just mind boggling. Now, I really don't think these ladies have much of a case. Um, I think they just, I think for sure, I think a lot of this stuff happened, but like Lizzo says, I think it's sensationalized. I do think they felt uncomfortable with their boss and her lifestyle and the lifestyle that she was trying to, push on her employees. So they didn't want to be a part of whatever she's a part of, and they felt pressured. And of course, you want to keep working because you just want to dance. And so if you want to keep your job and stuff like that and keep your security, you might feel a little obligated to. I mean, this is not like there's some union or some big board. This is one person. If she don't jive with you, why would she bring you on tour the next go round? So I'm pretty sure they did feel the pressure and the obligation, but all of it's unwritten. None of it was verbal. I really don't know if they have any hard evidence to prove any of their stuff. And, to prove a feeling, an atmosphere, to prove that is going to be kind of difficult if they're going to get, the maximum payout for whatever they're looking for. But be that as it may, I am not surprised by, I mean, you could just, what the stuff that she says constantly, the clothes that she wears, um, she's a wild person. So I already assume she's a party animal. And I seen a clip where she was talking about how she wanted to go to the Amsterdam show when they were, shooting projectile bananas out of infested boxes. And then people are supposed to eat from that. I don't understand the appeal. No pun intended. So this whole situation here, I feel like that she must be a bad person behind closed doors to these people for them to want to do this. Um, I feel like if she was, I felt like if she was more likable and she just got down like that and she didn't pressure anybody, maybe these allegations wouldn't come out. Because anytime you go on tour with any celebrity, you know they out there wilding, and I'm pretty sure the dancers or the singers are getting down too. I'm pretty sure Lizzo wanted that from these girls here, but it might be something about her that's abrasive or bullyish for them to just holler, "I don't want no mas." So this is a real strange situation. I tend to agree with the young ladies who are making these allegations. I agree with them. I feel like that those things happen, but I do feel like it's slightly sensationalized, and I don't think they're going to get paid anything. Most likely, I'm pretty sure they're just hoping for a settlement for this whole thing. How about you, man? So, are you on the side of the background dancers? How do you feel about Lizzo fat shaming uh, someone when she's obese herself? So, what's going on here?
Yeah, you can't make this shit up. I think that the truth, like many of these other type
Hmm.
situations involving these famous people where somebody alleges misconduct of some kind, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. What Lizzo is saying is probably partly true in terms of her defense, and what the dancers are saying is probably also some is true to a certain extent in terms of what they are alleging that she did. But Lizzo has always been a hostile person. She's always been. You said she's abrasive. She is. She is. That's a great word. She's abrasive. She's been hostile. Whenever people, whenever the internet came at her for wearing her see-through dresses or her little, you know, halfway up her butt skirt where you could see her whole ass at a Lakers game, she
Wow.
responded to those people with hostility. Whenever people came at her about maybe rethinking the strategy behind becoming the champion queen of body positivity because there are health things to consider with all that, she would respond on her IG lives with hostility. She's responding, she'd get on live on social media and do videos while she's on an elliptical or on the, bicycle, you know, berating people who want to contend that maybe there is a limit to championing body positivity. So she came at those people with hostility all this time. She's always responded to people who want to critique some of her decisions publicly with hostility. So it stands to reason that if she's always been hostile, then she's also probably in certain respects going to treat others within her cipher with hostility. But no one cared before because, and no one cared before, and this is where my societal observation is going to come in.
Hmm.
It was okay in the past because body positivity is perceived as on the side of righteousness. So long as you're on the side of righteousness, you can be hostile. Hostility is an acceptable form of behavior because you're being hostile for the greater good. Body positivity is for the greater good, just like gender neutrality is for the greater good. Um, being cool and okay with just encouraging your children to just select whatever gender they want. See, the next topic that we talk about is on the side of righteousness. You're fighting for the greater good. So long as you're fighting for the greater good, you can be hostile until that hostility gets perceived as contradictory, hypocrisy, because now she's being called out, amongst other things, for weight shaming, which is the sheerest form of irony with respect to Lizzo, because why would she on God's green earth ever weight shame anybody when she thus far has been one of the primary champions for body positivity in modern Western culture? So it just goes to show you that you need to take everything that these people stand for with a grain of salt. To a certain degree, a lot of these people are full of shit, herself included.
There
Do
you
I
go.
think do I think that she really cares about body positivity? Yeah, but do I think that she really wants to be the queen and the face of it the way she has allowed herself to become synonymous with? No, I don't. Because if she did, she wouldn't be publicly talking about her struggles with weight and hiring trainers and her nutritions and her diets and putting posts out there with her exercise regimen. Women who are all about that body positivity life wouldn't put that out publicly because they want to encourage people to be comfortable enough in their own skin to wear see-through dresses even though they're 300 plus pounds. When the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. The truth is probably on the Adele Rebel Wilson level, which is I love myself, but there's always room for improvement. Let me get into the gym and lose this weight. Lizzo allowed herself to go all the way left and say, no, I'm going to live over here in this world where I'm 300 plus pounds. And if you don't like it, too bad, because I'm going to throw it in your face because I am going to turn this world into something in which my 300-pound self looks just as good as a woman who is the opposite of that. And you're not going to give that world that kind of a social facelift. So when you position yourself in that regard, but you're not really all the way about that life, as these allegations would make it seem is the case, you're opening yourself up to a whole can of worms. And now these former employees are suing her for, would you guess it, weight shaming. So again, do I 100% think that Lizzo is all the way some kind of charlatan? No, probably not. It's probably somewhere in the middle. And were some of these former employees perhaps engaging in shenanigans? Yeah, some of that is probably somewhere in the middle. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, as is with the majority of these cases. But the reason why this is such a hot button issue is because of what Lizzo purportedly stood for. And it just go all of you liberal people out there who love this kind of stuff, who want to see, who you just desire to see a world in which we can just have, you know, 300 plus pound gender neutral transgender people running around and it's just all to the good. Just understand that the truth in that world that you envision is probably somewhere in the middle, and the people who you look to be your role models for this stuff aren't actually about that life all the way for real. And so, I don't know what's going to end up happening with this situation. I agree with you. I think Lizzo is probably going to end up having to give these ladies something. It probably won't be a full on payout. They should not become perpetually rich just for alleging that this chick was weight shaming them. But there's probably some sort of penance to be paid for whatever did end up taking place. So she'll probably throw him a bone here or there, and everybody goes their separate ways, and it is what it is. But this most certainly has to be a blow to the body positivity people out there who look to Lizzo to be their shimmering hope, their shiro, their champion. And I don't know where you go from here, but you're gonna have to pick a new champion, I guess.
Uh, um, I mean, the whole body positivity campaign is propaganda. So it's not gonna. It's built on a fallacy. So if there's a real champion of it, um, they're gonna be full of holes too. Because in order for it to prop itself up like feminism, it's full of shit. So with the body positivity thing, I mean, I get it in principle. That's and this is how it's propaganda, because I get it in principle, because of course be comfortable in your own skin. All right. And if you're slightly, overweight, nothing like crazy, you're a little tubby because you don't go to the gym, but everything else is okay and everything's all right. Hey man, embrace yourself. You could take your shirt off at the pool. Big deal. So that type of stuff, I don't mind that. But when they stretched it into the part where it's like, hey, even if you're, you know, 350 plus and you don't play defensive tackle, it's okay. And it's like, no, it's not okay. This is not okay. This person's not healthy. And back to that Kanye video we had covered a while ago, where he was like, she's out here promoting bad health practices. And when we were coming up, the obese epidemic was hitting our generation crazy. And so these people are adults. And some of these people was having kids, and you know, so this is part of American culture, is to just eat, eat, eat. So as Lizzo is out here just uh being whoever she is, the champion for body positivity. Body positivity is for people who are obese, or whatever, not strictly for that, but they co-opted it into just saying, hey, I'm comfortable being unhealthy. And if you shame me to tell me to get healthy because it hurts my feelings, this whole it hurts my feelings thing. And so that's what it all does. So it's just like, hey, please don't hurt my feelings. I look at myself in the mirror. I already know I'm big. I don't need nobody else from the outside to tell me that. No, but you do. And you're depressed. That's probably why you feel that way. So here, let me help you out. And no. And so this whole no accountability generation thing going on, not really being social, the in mass, there's a lot of people who are just running away from responsibilities, period. And if you are large, then you clearly see that you have a visible health issue, and that you got to get it under wraps if you want to live long and healthy. So this whole body positivity thing, it's built on people who don't want to change. And so for her to be doing it to somebody else, it is ironic. But the crazy part about it is that it's not ironic. I mean, it is ironic, but it's not crazy. It's not far fetched, because these people self hate. So the self hate is just projected onto somebody else, and she could probably say it was like, oh well, the girls couldn't do their dance maneuvers no more because they were getting so big. So I was like, hey girl, you gonna have to lose some of this if you want to do the split on stage. You rolling over like a boiled egg. So at this point, if that's what's going on, but still there's a, body positive, you can't shame her into losing that weight. She's beautiful how she is. And that split is not being executed as beautiful as it is. So let her tumble on the floor, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
flute playing, it's all a farce. I don't understand this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like you said, bro, and like I said, the combative, abrasive energy from this woman. I don't overtly go around just not caring for people, but it was something about her that I just didn't care for, and it's her bully mentality. And so when
Mm-hmm.
I heard a story about her being allegedly a bully, well, you know, not far fetched. You know.
Yep. It's very consistent. I wasn't shocked at all because to me it was very consistent with everything else she's done before. Like I said, I think she's always been someone who has been abrasive, aggressive. She's always attacked people who counter her ideology with a lot of aggression and hostility, but no one would dare contend her for it because as a champion of body positivity, you're on the right side of history, and therefore hostility is an acceptable form of behavior so long as you are doing it in so long as you are doing it on the side of righteousness. The minute that you are no longer on the side of righteousness, that's when hostility becomes unacceptable. And that's the hypocrisy with the way that we perceive a lot of this stuff. Because if it's okay for Lizzo to be hostile because she's a champion of body positivity, then it needs to be okay for people to critique her in a hostile manner. And that's just a hypothetical scenario because in reality, most reasonable people who had something to say about Lizzo never came. It was not on some hostility stuff. It was on some, we're taking this a little bit too far because body positivity, the true mantra of it, the spirit of it, the essence of it is somewhere in the middle. It's about being comfortable and loving who you are, but the core of a human being should always be to seek self improvement. And when you relent that cause by saying, I can be this way and I am maximum improved, this is my version of self improvement being this way, then no, that doesn't fly when it comes to what body positivity should be. What body positivity is supposed to be is, this is my weight and this is my body type. I work hard at self improvement, as we all as humans should do, but I'm also not going to kill myself if I don't look necessarily like this, because this is who I am and thus I love myself. But what Lizzo did was attack people who said being over 300 pounds, probably not the best thing for your personal self worth. And she attacked that with hostility. But again, the hostility is okay if we are doing body positivity, because it's one of these themes, it's one of these ideals in our present culture that you have to be on the right side of. So when you're on the right side of it, you can be aggressive and abrasive and attack things with hostility. For
Yeah.
me, seriously. So for me, this was always consistent with who she was. I was not surprised to discover that she treats employees allegedly with a certain degree of hostility. She's a hostile individual. She's a hostile person. Or at least that's what she's publicly portrayed herself to be from on a consistent enough basis. When she gets in her feelings enough, she attacks the haters with tremendous hostility. That's what she's always done. Hey,
Hmm.
hey, man, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see that at a Lakers game. Like, I don't want
No,
to see your
man.
whole ass like that at a Lakers game.
That's
I'm sorry, but I do not want to see that. Okay. And I am well within my right to comment in that way on the internet if you're going to post a pic or a video of you wearing that outfit on your own page. If you don't want to court the attention, don't post it on your social channels. But you courted the attention by posting it on your social channels. People, therefore, are going to critique it. You attacking them in a hostile manner makes you just as bad as the people who you think are treating you in a hostile manner for dressing that way in the first place. So if you don't want to incur that kind of treatment, don't put it out on social. Just live your life and be a private person. But you're an attention seeker and you can't help yourself. And you have completely dug yourself into the sand on these ideologies that you supposedly stick up for, that you have to put it out on your social channels, that you have to. And when you do that, now you're looking at a situation where you look like a fool now. You look like a complete and utter hypocrite if these allegations are correct. Because how dare Lizzo weight shame another individual? I don't care if she's paying them or not. What grounds does she have to do that? See, it's not the fact that these people couldn't perform the dance moves and they were getting called out. And I know you don't know that for a fact. You're just
right.
painting a hypothetical, but it's a reasonable conclusion to surmise. Like, the more weight you gain, the harder it is to frolic on a dance floor doing the dance moves and all of this kind of stuff. So another person who's kind of in charge of the choreography or some other high ranking person on the staff calling these individuals out is one thing. It just can't be Lizzo. It can't be you, Lizzo, because of everything that you stand for. So there's all kinds of ways to look at this. There's a hypocrisy angle. There's the ideology of weight shaming angle. And then there is, as you put it, the foundation of body shaming upon which that whole entire thing is rooted in fallaciousness. So people need to understand that. But for Lizzo, I say, hey, you made your bed, sleep in it. You wanted to be the body positivity queen. And so that's what makes these allegations all the more heinous, because part of it is people saying that you weight shame them. And you have no one to blame for that but yourself. But people out here in these streets, y'all need to stop hitching y'all wagons to these celebrities and these famous people. The vast majority of them are full of shit. Okay? Please understand this. They don't live by what they preach to you publicly. They're full of shit. And a lot of them are controlled by vested interests like movie studios, record labels, lawyers, and publicists, and anybody else who basically just creates these avatars of human beings, and these people cease to become real human beings in the first they cease to become real human beings, and they just become these caricatures. This is what I portray to people publicly, but in real life they're not about that stuff. They're not. So that's the biggest takeaway that I have from all of that.
Yeah. And for this whole thing, uh, the body positivity situation, much like other movements, if you will. It's always got a noble cause to it. That's the reason why you like it, but it's always co-opted by opportunists who are looking to get away with something. And so when you have this whole body positivity thing being pushed, so heavily, um, and for one of its champions to get called out for it, I feel like it's poetic justice, and I feel like the universe was calling some things in order, just to shine light on the lies that go on behind closed doors. And like you said, man, these figureheads that be championing something, most if not all of them, full of shit. And so for her to be directly being accused, well, not directly, I don't know what it is, but just for this to be, coming out on her, yeah, man, I just feel like this needs to be happening for the masses to see. So I'm here for it. Most likely she's gonna get off, and like you said, the truth is somewhere in the middle. After hearing those girls speak, some of that stuff is like, girl, yeah, good luck,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
good luck.
Yeah.
But smearing her name, they done did that, and so now people
Yeah.
gonna run with this garbage forever. So long
Right.
as her name is out there, people, her detractors are always gonna bring this up. Maybe myself, you know. But it's kind of like they don't let OJ live, and OJ been catching stray bullets ever since he dropped that glove. So everybody they gonna bring up allegations. Bill Cosby, everybody. They're not
Mhm.
gonna let you slide. So Lizzo, from here on out, people gonna be watching her to see if she's really gonna be practicing what she's preaching, or if the queen of body positivity actually go and loses weight. And then, what are you gonna tell to all of those people that you tell to keep gorging on food? Last little thing I'm about to say is that I've seen videos, TikTok compilations of body positivity people, influencers that were obese and encouraging people to keep eating and they're beautiful and stuff like that. And then some of these people turn around after they done made a whole bunch of money from donations and stuff, turn around and getting surgery. You know, I just saw a video the other day where this vegan woman, this extreme vegan woman, starved herself to death. You know, And so, but she was an influencer and she had people and she's sitting there telling these people what to do and she's an influencer. And so all of these people out here with their own, by the way, that extreme vegan woman, she was drinking nothing but juice and never water. She never drank water. It's like, what are you doing? That's so stupid. So, but be that as it may, there's people out here preaching this gospel of not being accountable, do whatever you want, whatever. And I just think it's natural selection at the end of the day. And so you're gonna have to, the writing's on the wall. You get enough warnings. Some people do turn, but if people want to keep following the blind, hey man, it's only so much you can do. So this Lizzo situation, have at it, sister. But most likely she's gonna get off and pay some type of settlement.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm.
That's rough, man. You have to imagine in her heart of hearts, she has to be somebody who wants to maximize herself. She wants to self improve, but there's probably some side of her and there's probably some element of her team who's telling her to be careful how much you self improve because look at where you've positioned yourself as the champion of this mantra, which basically encourages people, as you put it, to not be accountable for self improvement. That's what I think it is. And
Mm.
it's unfortunate. So it'll be interesting to see how this situation plays out. But I think it's an important lesson to take away for everybody who sees this video or is just following along with the situation in general. These figureheads are full of poo poo. Most of them are not really on this stuff. All right. They're not. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, man, grain of salt with these people, man.
Yeah,
Grain of salt.
seriously.